So, last week, 2,000 schoolchildren in York formed a human chain more than half a mile long, holding the colours of the Ukrainian flag in solidarity with the country.
It was a very moving sight to see, and you can see that all the children were very involved. But was it the right thing to do? Should we be getting our youngsters or allowing them to get involved in political issues?
It's very striking, isn't it, as a symbol,
Yeah.
and very more poignant and sombre. We're joined now by Jo Sandwell, who is an assistant head teacher whose school took part in the human chain, and also by parenting expert and blogger Vicky Broadbent. Good morning to both of you. Jo, so let's start with you. How did this idea come about, and what made you and your school want to get involved?
So essentially, it was the half-term holiday when students, like the rest of us, started seeing on their TV screens the invasion, really, of the Ukraine. And we received from a number of our students email contact over that half-term saying, look, Miss, what can we do? What can we do to actually make a bit of a difference here? This is unprecedented. It's something we've never seen before. And it's something we want to do something about it. And I think as a Catholic school, we're built on values of things like compassion and justice, and we very much try to teach our young people to live those values out. And so, with it being Ash Wednesday, the week that we took sort of did the prayer chain of peace, we were asked by the Pope as a Catholic school to pray for peace. And so we put those two ideas together, the students wanting to get involved and do something proactive, but also wanting to make and have a moment of prayer and solidarity for the people of the Ukraine. And so that's what we decided to do. And we invited a number of schools through York. We ended up, I think, with 6 or 7 schools in the city represented at the event itself. And we stood quietly, reflectively in prayer, as you can see on the screen, to show that solidarity, really, and praying for peace.
You explain it very clearly. Vicky, hearing that and how the idea came about, and we definitely know, I know from my own children, I know Ben knows from his, that the youngsters are very affected by what's happening in Ukraine. Is there anything wrong with taking that kind of action?
I mean, we're all devastated what's happening in the Ukraine, and I understand that your intentions were, good and pure, but unfortunately it could be seen as quite confronting. And I think it's such a complex issue, war, and those children do look quite young as well. And I'm quite concerned. My own children have Russian children in their classes, and I know that they're concerned that they might be discriminated against and vilified, and things like this are not necessarily the most effective way to raise discussion. Also, that there are other things you could fundraise, bake sales. There's a lot of other ways that you can help refugees and really put people at the centre of this. I think I'm just worried that it's a big subject for children to understand. And if I would, we know that lots of Russian children and families oppose the war, as I do, as we all do. But this, I feel, makes me feel uncomfortable. And lots of schools are not doing things like this because they want to remain non-partisan. They don't want to be seen as sort of taking sides in a sense and remaining neutral. And I think, as a former teacher, that's a very important position to take as well. That way you can encourage discussion. Of course, it's terrible. No one's going to advocate for invasions and war, but there are more...
I mean, Jo, that is a fair point, isn't it? I know my children go to school with youngsters that are... have parents and family in Ukraine right now, and that's been very distressing, but also have family in Russia. And that idea that you're going to demonise a country when it's brought down to a child's level that can be very black and white, good is and bad is, and all of that can be very complicated for a child to understand. And also just a huge level of anxiety, which you're highlighting, and giving them a responsibility for seriously adult problems.
My question is, what does this...
Yes, sorry, so we just let Jo answer that, Vicky, then we'll come back to you. Yeah, sorry.
I think I would respond in a couple of ways, really. I think, first of all, I don't think anybody that was involved in terms of students, staff or parents felt that this was about politics. So it certainly wasn't about standing against anybody. It's standing for something that's really important. And I think our young people felt that they
though,
had
Joe.
recognised...
That is politics. When you stand up for something, that's political. It doesn't have to be Westminster squabbly politics, but it's political.
I think it's about social justice. And I think in that sense, what we're trying to do as a school, and I think what all schools actually are asked to do by the government, by Ofsted, is to be able to help our students to understand things in the right way and to be media literate. You know, the students that we took on this event on our peace chain are 11 to 18. Most of them have access to mobile phones. They are getting their news and their understanding of what's going on often from their social media feeds. It's absolutely essential that schools, alongside parents, support parents in their ability to be able to discuss at an age-appropriate level what it is that's actually going on. And I think it's not only appropriate, but it would be irresponsible not to do that, because students are involved in these things. They are watching these things. They are seeing them. And actually, by talking about it, hopefully we are healing rather than damaging.
We're running out of time, and I just want to give Vicky a chance to come back on that. A lot of the viewers getting in touch with us, Vicky, before you jump in, sorry. A lot of them getting in touch with us saying this is fantastic to see children the leaders of the future. If you want a brighter future, it begins with them. That's from Alfred. Kevin says, great to see the kids of York showing solidarity with Ukraine. Kids must be allowed to express their opinions and understand what's going on. I'm very proud to see these children making a stand.
Absolutely.
Vicky?
So, I mean, 2,000 children, it's a lot of children. Do you have any Russian children in your school, Joe? How would they feel? Like you say, this is children. It's not a nuanced conversation here. And, you know, there are other ways that are more inclusive and effective, I would argue, to fundraise and to support the Ukraine.
I think it is something that students are engaged with, and we do have students from a variety of countries in the school. And as I say, we are not doing this in a way and have not taken this action in terms of trying to politicise the children or trying to give them or demonise anybody. That's absolutely the opposite of what we were going out to do. And I think, as you've rightly said there with people writing into the programme now, these children are the leaders of the future. If we want them to be socially minded, if we want them to actually stand up for what's right, we have to teach them how to do that and show them how to do it in the right way, in a peaceful way.
Thank you both for joining us.
Get their information not just from TikTok as well.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. We
Mm-hmm.
appreciate both of you joining us. That's Joe Sandwell and Vicky Broadbent. Lots of you getting in touch. Helen's just saying, do the children know what's going on? More clearly, Helen, Joe was saying that they were very sort of open and honest with the kids. They knew exactly why they were there, what they were doing it for, and they had a discussion about it. So that wasn't the problem at all.
I'm sure there are debates in different ways going on across schools everywhere, aren't there? Do let us know what's happening in your school.